Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. This one's going to be a little bit of an announcement to go along with some pack openings. So because the Riftbound content hasn't been super popular on my Atom Blast channel, and I don't want to keep my algorithm and want YouTube to be able to figure out how to serve my videos, I've decided to split my Riftbound content off onto its own channel. So you'll find the link to that in the description. It's going to be called Riftblast. So it'll be all the same content you're used to if you're here for Riftbound content. It'll just be on another channel. And then I'm also thinking on doing a recording of my Nexus nights. So similar to how I do my One Piece content, where I record my weekly tournaments, I'm planning on doing the same for Riftbound. So that'll be the base of the stuff that I'm doing on that channel. Will be pack openings, discussions on decks, deck techs, and everything like that. Prep for events if I get into big events and everything. So pretty much everything you are used to on my Atom Blast channel, it'll be on my Riftblast channel for Riftbound. So that is just an update on the plan. But for today's video, which will be the last here on the Atom Blast channel, I wanted to open a box and then point you guys over to my new channel where I'm going to be doing the other box that you saw there. And that'll be the first video over there on that channel. So let's just hop into it and enjoy some nice pack opening while I just ramble on about what is going on in Riftbound so far. So I have been enjoying this game quite a bit. One Piece is still my main game for those, especially here for all the One Piece content. But I've been having a lot of fun with Riftbound as well, and it's been fun to have some variety in the things. And yeah, was happy to be able to pick up some packs at, this is Mortal Card in Houston that I picked up these packs from. And yeah, I'm just really excited for this new set here. It also makes a nice transition over to my other channel, which will be great. So things we're looking for, obviously signatures and over numbers are going to be great to find. Fizz, that's a great one for us to start with. We've wanted a Fizz for our Miracle style deck. Let's make sure that that's in frame so we still have that. Actually, let's go ahead and put this down here. We have some foils, keep those separate, and that. I think on the terms, even though this is a single rare pack, I think they said that when you're looking at an entire box, the ratios should balance out. So we will see if that does bear itself out for the end. But happy to pull this Fizz just as an initial card for that Miracle thing. I think I only usually want probably a single copy of it for those lists most of the time. So great to have it. What else to talk about? So the first deck that I want to build in Riftbound, seeing here it's already balanced out here. We have an epic and then our two rares here. So the first deck that I'm building though in Spiritforge is going to be a Miracle deck. I think I'm going to start with Jinx as the leader and try to play the Miracle package. I kind of went over it in last week's video, but it'll be Miracle plus the Doran's Ring plus the Purple Jinx as the secondary combo or primary combo depending on the thing. I imagine I will score a lot of points with Doran's Ring Jinx and then use the Miracle package to kind of wrap it up in the end. Here we have Rek'Sai. I did see somebody on Reddit kind of lamenting the fact that these leaders are counted as rares. It's not my favorite distribution either, but it is what it is. I understand the need to make them a little bit less common for the sake of packs, just because you only ever use one, so it feels bad to get too many packs with them. I feel like the one-piece model has worked out pretty well, where you usually get about 8 leaders in a box, and they kind of get their own spot. They're kind of part of the distribution of packs, which makes it a little more predictable what you're going to get. And they've been playing around with the ratios on what leader packs get you, but I would like to see what's it called? Riftbound maybe take on that angle. Here we have another one rare thing, but as we've seen, it already did balance out. And so we are one rare down for the box. And some decent ones. This one is kind of interesting. I want to see how well it can work with the BubbleBot synergy, where BubbleBots make your Rumble ready, and then you can recycle that same BubbleBot to summon another one from the trash. So you essentially get enough readies to balance out your oh, look at that. And it even balanced out in then literally the next pack. Here we have another pack. This is a pretty good one, actually, where we have a signature spell and playable Draven and Switcheroo. This is a pretty good pack in general. But what was I saying? The Rumble BubbleBot combo makes for an interesting way to kind of pop Rumble around the thing. You even have in mixed as well the ganking bot. So if you have one of the BubbleBots in your hand, you can use it to ready him after recycling to give ganking to him. So I think that's some pretty interesting stuff. You just need a good way to get cards into your trash so that you can get them out. And then knowing that it is going to be kind of a capped thing because you have to use recycle on his ability, meaning that you won't be able to run around quite as much. This is an interesting ratios here where I feel like we're getting like a pack with 1 rare and then a pack with 3 rares back to back pretty frequently here. We'll have to do a count. I think we are down 1 right now in our counts. And so we'll see if we balanced out with the number of rares for the entire box. What else? Oh, Yone was an interesting one, and I think is probably going to be a card that'll be interesting to see as time goes forward. Its ability is hard to make work because having an open battlefield is not as common. But I do think that paired with stuff like purple and other, what's it called? Particularly purple is what I should mean to say. Because purple has access to the stuff like fight or flight to push out something where you can make a battlefield open essentially. And then being able to run in with Yone, as long as you don't run into a purple spell of theirs or a removal spell or other interaction on theirs, you can kind of get access to that ability. And we'll kind of see if the meta develops in a way where we have enough cards to make that work. It was definitely a nice card to have in sealed as a guaranteed one, made for a lot of what's it called? Okay, so here we've caught up. We're now neutral on hits at 2 a pack now because we have 2 rares, and in this case the alternate art for Draven. This is actually my second alt art for Draven, so I'll go ahead and put this one with the epics here, and we'll see. But having 2 of these, I think the Draven deck only runs the 1, so having the alt art is nice because it'll be your chosen champion, and having 2 means I'll have stuff for trades for people who might be interested in playing Draven. I think this is the more common of the chosen champions for that deck, even though the other one is chosen in other decks. But yeah, just being a 4 cost at a very efficient price is really nice. Heart of Ice and Ezreal. This definitely makes the playset of my Ezreals. I did in my most recent pre-rift got an alt art of this Ezreal and a regular Ezreal because I got the Ezreal seeded pack. So that's my playset of that Ezreal, which I think is a really interesting one. I'd like to see a deck that uses him and Spellsonger as just a really strong combo for getting into bases, or battlefields, I should say. Being able to walk in and deal 6 right away, and then just run away if 6 isn't enough to make it a clean conquer. And then especially if you have access to anything else, you have the ability to just send another guy to do the actual conquering, and still keep your Ezreal safe and ready to do it again. Azir is another one I'm actually really interested in. I don't know, I think it was the yellow one that was run in the Chinese event that I didn't get to watch all of it, but I was really impressed to see it go all the way to the finals. It does seem like a solid deck. That BF Sword chaining, or cascading as I've heard people call it, seems to be a really strong ability, and I saw it a lot in my pre-riffs. Pretty much anyone I saw playing the, what's it called, Rek'Sai deck was running that combo with their BF swords, and they were just running it into a bunch of stuff. Edge of Night, a nice one, playable. Not quite the one I'm looking for as far as purple, hard to find equipment. I'd really like to get Elastrites. It's one of the cards that I need for that miracle package, that one of Elastrites for getting back your Razas and your other cards from the trash. It is really a great card. And then we have now a second one of these Ezreals. Hopefully somebody will be interested in them and I can get them traded to somebody who will give them a nice home. We have Ornn here. I haven't seen any Ornn. Ooh, Aurelia is a great one to pull, just for playability's sake. I don't know if I'll play Aurelia, but having access to this does make it a whole lot more likely that I will give it a try, because I don't have to go out of my way to buy it. Or if it sits in my trade binder, I'm sure I will be able to find a home for it in trades. So, pretty decent hit so far. I'd like to see a little bit more out of the box before I call it a success or a failure overall. Probably reasonably solid here. Drag Under is one I'm going to need to keep track down for Lux. We have Soraka and Rengar. That was a really interesting one. Ooh, and the rune for the box is the Chaos rune, which is really great because that's definitely the color I want to play. But what I was saying though is seeing Rengar in the Chinese finals looks like a really fun card. Kind of the offensive version of Shen, which is actually quite strong. Being able to play guys out at reaction speed is definitely a very nice way to be able to play the game. And so I'm interested in seeing if I can find maybe a spot for him. He would potentially work in Jinx, just as a card to help really push through on spots where an opponent is expecting to be able to hold. And then we have an Akshan. I know this is a really important one in sideboards. I don't know how often it sees main deck play, but definitely really nice in sideboards to steal people's really good stuff. Can be really backbreaking against Lux, for example, if you're running the combo with the Jace Armory combo. So one I'll definitely have to look out for in my Lux deck. But also pretty good at dealing with, what's the card? Aurora, which I'm expecting to see some Aurora in my Nexus Knights early, just because people have it already. And it doesn't seem like it's a card that has completely fallen off. A first signature spell here, we have Relentless Pursuit, which is a great one for the Lucian deck. Pretty key, I think, in that deck. I don't know if they run all three, but I know that they run it. which is great to have. Yeah, but the Aurora deck I am expecting to see early on, as people haven't gotten all of their boxes yet for Spirit Forged and are cracking the new product and just playing their old product while they try to fill out playsets and stuff. Severe, a nice one to have, I feel like. She seems like a pretty solid leader, just as a kind of general baseline. Because gold, as a way of kind of reducing the costs of power, seems just like a great mechanic for a really good generic long-term leader. It just makes a really good baseline for orange and purple. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, the Eye of the Herald was one that kind of surprised me out of that Azir deck. The one game that I did watch out of them, they got a whole lot of use out of that Eye of the Herald, which was one that I probably wouldn't have placed super high on my list of cards to watch. Piercing Light, another great one for Lucian. So I'm wondering if maybe I'll have enough cards to do a Lucian deck, especially paired with some of the other pulls that I have gotten in my pre-rifts and stuff like that. I have at least one Lucian from pre-rift, and I have the starter deck for Fiora, which I think has the other two orange Lucians that I would need for that. I guess I'd be looking for Skyfall of Aurelion and a Triforce maybe as ways. Oh, Vanguard Armory, there's another one that I need for Lux. Oh, and Jace, there's two great cards for Lux back to back here. Zero Drive, this is one I definitely want to pick up a playset of. Even if it doesn't make it yet, I am going to try it at some point. Similar to how Baited Hook is. This is a card that I think is really just waiting for the right set of cards to do. I actually think it's kind of interesting in blue-yellow actually as well, because you can use stuff like Cold a Week to trigger this while still getting value, and then setting up for a good turn where you can kind of bring everything back. The biggest downside to it is going to be the equip cost, so I'm going to be watching out for good weapon master abilities to kind of snag this on there right away. And then the +2 probably makes it worth it to line up. So definitely one that I have on my radar. Draven, the one we expected, and here's Trinity Force, so we're getting closer to having the stuff we would want if we wanted to try Lucian. We need some Skyfalls and maybe more Triforces. But yeah, a lot of fun stuff to play around with, I feel like. Even if this box doesn't come out dollar value wise, I do think that this is starting to feel like a pretty good playability box. Kind of hitting the cards I need. I already saw the 2 called shots, which finishes out my playset. Ooh, and even a foily called shot. Vex, one to go with next set. I'm interested to see what Vex does in the next set, because it's got the starter deck. Card Sharp, another one for that Rat Ezreal. Great to see that as well. Yeah, I think I'm getting a lot of, even if they're not super expensive, a lot of low-grade playables right now, which I'm happy to see. And we still have some packs left, so we have room to maybe grab some more value as well. Yeah, let's just keep going. But I am interested, for those watching, what are you interested in playing here in Spirit Forged? There's a lot of interesting decks here. Ancient Hinge, nice, epic. There's a lot of interesting decks, and I'm really kind of interested in what you guys are up to as well. Are you going to be playing something more standard like the Dravens or the Miracle packages? Or are you going to try something more experimental with your own brews? Let me know in the comments what you guys are doing, and make sure, if you are the kind of person who's building Spirit Forge, make sure you do check out my other channel where I'll be opening the other box and discussing more and kind of carrying on my Riftbound content over there. Mirai Spires, that's an interesting one. On the Hunt is a great one here. Another card for potentially Miracle Severe. I think you just need the single copy of it, which is great. And I have a lot of the other cards that you might need for the Miracle deck. Unfortunately, I don't have Ezreal's yet, which looks like it's going to be the card of the set. So we'll have to see if we can get some of those in trades, or maybe if we get one in our other box. Let's see though, almost done here. Just one pack after this. Purple Aurelia, I have a couple of these. Xin Zhao is the one that I think is potentially got some good power for it. I'd be interested to see if that one doesn't sneak up in price over time, just because it's got a lot of things to like about it. Pretty easy to turn on, and for that cost is actually pretty efficient as a way both to end the game potentially, plus just a good surprise card, being able to pop up at the end of the game when your opponents aren't expecting to be in danger of losing. Being able to get that extra rush in there is really nice. Sterak's, Kim Baroness, and there we go. So that's the end of the box. Our major hits, I guess, looking at hits, would be these epics here. We have On the Hunt, Ancient Henge, Zero Drive, Relentless Pursuit, Aurelia. I think this is probably the most expensive card that we pulled. I'd need to double check the prices on maybe this Draven as a potential other one. But we have our alt arts here. We have Ezreal and Draven, and then we have Shurelia's Requiem and a Rek'Sai red version. Then we have the Chaos Rune, and there's actually potential that the Chaos Rune is the most valuable, just because you need a lot of these. But this is definitely one that I will try to hold on to, at least until I have some good alternatives, because I'm definitely going to be running a purple deck for the foreseeable future, because I think that the way that purple plays is really interesting. But that is a summary of this first box here. Reminder to go check out my other channel where I will have another box opening and another stuff, and that will be where all of my Riftbound content lives from now on. But thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.